Good morning, everyone. Good morning. On the first try, and almost everyone said it. Unheard of. Unheard of. How is everyone doing today? Okay, so everyone should have this paper. I handed it out when you guys got in, and did anyone slip past me and not get one? Looks like everyone has one. So I have been talking to you guys for the past couple days about how we're going to be starting our research process today for our speeches. It's even on that back wall. So we're going to take notes on how to find credible sources for your research, and then we're going to start our research. So for each one of you guys, I'm going to use a Maya real quick. I wrote your name on the top, and then I wrote what your question is, and then I wrote your two supporting claims and your two opposing claims. So if you get one and it's missing one, then you guys, like this. If it's missing them, you have to go find them before you can start your research. Okay? But we're gonna get there. But that's our agenda for today. Okay? So everyone should take out a pen and maybe a highlighter if they would like one, but definitely a pen, and then write your name on the top of the paper. Okay, has anyone in here heard of, I grew up calling them skeleton notes. I don't know what you guys know them of, but does anyone know what this is? You guys all kind of looked at the paper kind of confused. Okay, so on each slide, it's going to say exactly what's on your paper, except on your paper, there's missing words. So you're going to have, I'll read them and you guys got to fill out the blanks. Okay? And then there's some that there's no blanks, and I want you to highlight things that you find are important that can help you in your research. Okay? We will see if this works for you guys. Okay, so in order to find out if a source is credible, we're going to go through who, what, why, when, and where. We all know this actually. So we're going to start with who. Who wrote the article? So in order to evaluate the credibility, you must begin with the person organized or the organization who wrote the article, right? So like if Wikipedia wrote the article, then like anyone in this class or like even in first grade could edit whatever information is on Wikipedia. And it could be wrong. So we don't want to use Wikipedia. So ensure that the author and the organization is clearly stated. So you guys should be writing author/organization. On the blank, on the first blank, ensure that the author/organization is clearly stated. The next sentence says, ensure that the author/organization is qualified and trustworthy. So you should write is qualified and trustworthy. Ensure that the author/organization is qualified and trustworthy. So some good ways to know this is using Google Scholar. Google Scholar will always have credible sources from credible organizations. So on that first big blank, write Google Scholar. Next to government, when we are looking up a source and it says .com, that means that it's just a normal website. But a government website will have a different one. What will the government one say? The answer is up on the board. What will the government one say? .gov. Good. So in those parentheses, write .gov. Now, educations such as teachers, such as colleges, professionals that are writing for colleges. All of these people can use the domain for education. So for the education, what is the domain? .edu. Good job. Thank you, Eden. So in that one next to education, you should write @ or .edu. ensure that you are avoiding the following: Wikipedia, because anyone can edit that information. Does not matter who. Does not matter if they are credible or not credible. They can edit the information. Social media, because anyone can post without credible information. The Onion is a satire online source. So don't use it. Do we all know what satire is? Yes, no. Satire makes fun of people. So like The Onion is making fun of these hot topics. And then some news sources like ABC, CNN, and the Daily News. Okay, so I want everyone to turn and talk to the person next to you and share one website that you should not use and one website that you could use. Like, you're gonna have this paper with you for the rest of the day. So everything that stands out, like that's new information. Okay, can someone tell me one website that is a good website to use? Anyone? Yeah, Google Scholar, absolutely. And what's one that we should be avoiding?
Wikipedia.
Social media, yep. So like, don't go to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok for your information. Okay, so when looking at the author and the organization, the things that you need to look for. Okay, so this, you don't have anything to write, this is just already written on your paper. So if you want to highlight this for anything that you did not know, that is great. So you're going to be looking for the company name. Once you come up with the company name, then you should open another tab and look up that company and see if it's a good company. Like, is it Costco? Or is it like one of the millions and millions of colleges? Do we see the difference? Nonprofits kind of get a little bit tricky because some of them have their own personal agenda that they're trying to push on you. So it's no longer fact, it's more opinion based, which we want fact based. The About Us page is a great place to learn more about the organization or the author. The author's name, if it is not posted, I would not trust it because then a first grader could have written it. A bio on the author, so like, who are they? What degrees do they have, if any? The organization's rewards, and then any certifications or degrees that go along with the person or the organization. Okay, so what is one thing that you should know about your author before deciding if it is a credible source? Talk to the person next to you. Share out with the class. What is one thing that you should know about your author or the organization before deciding if it is credible or not? It's on the board. Huh? Yeah, the name. Who are they? Yeah, that's a great thing. If the name is not there, then you should not consider it credible. Can someone give me one more? Yeah, degrees. Good one. Did you say name? Degree. Good job, Morgan. Okay, so now we have finished on who. Yes? So do we have any questions before we move on about who is writing the article and how to determine if the person is credible? No? We all know? Good job. Okay. Now we're looking at what. So the next step in figuring out if the source is credible or not is to evaluate what the article is actually telling you, okay? So ensure that the information is based on facts. If I came up here and told you my opinions on finding credible sources, it would not be credible. Because I would tell you, TikTok might be a good place to find information, which it might be a good place to start your research, but it's not a good place to cite information from, to use as a credible source. Do we see the difference? Okay. So similar to your own speech, you will be looking at facts, not opinions. So when you are up here telling the class, you can tell us your opinion, but that will not change our minds. We need you to tell us straight facts about your topic. Okay? Ensure that there is no spelling or grammatical errors within the article. Why? Because if there is, then obviously it's not credible. Because most, if not all, credible sources has to go through an editing process, not just by themselves, right? Like if you were going to publish an article, wouldn't you edit it yourself multiple times? And then normally you get it peer reviewed, so like the person sitting next to you would review it, and then normally a professional in that area of specialties would then also look over it and edit it. So at that point, there should be no spelling or grammatical errors. So we're looking for an article that we can trust, one that has no errors. Other sources about the same topic share similar information. So if you find an article that's telling you that black does not absorb the heat, that is false information, and every other article that you find is going to tell you that black clothing absorbs heat, right? So that one article is the outlier of the information. So that one article is not telling you the truth. So make sure that whatever credible source you have is backed up by other sources saying the same thing. If this article is the first article that talks about a topic in a vastly different way than the other articles that you have read, it is most likely bias. Do we all know what bias means? No? So bias means that it's their own opinion. So like, if I had a child, I would obviously think that my child is cute, right? Just like if you guys all have siblings, I'm sure you all think that your siblings are the cutest siblings ever, right? But like someone else who randomly, like a stranger, does not know me, does not know you, they might look at my child and think that my child is ugly. They might look at your siblings and think that your siblings are ugly. But we are biased towards the people that we love because we know them, right? Like you guys are the best students at River Valley High School, but I've never met or taught other classes other than this one and fourth period. So like saying that I have the best students on campus is biased because I haven't met every student on campus. Yes? Do we understand bias? Okay. If there are links, they also need to lead to other credible sources. So on your credible source, a link should not take you to TikTok. A link should not take you to a bad source. It should link you to other credible sources. Okay? So turn and talk to the person next to you about what in the article you are looking for to make sure that it is credible. Okay? I like your little drawings. I'm with you. Okay, so what's one thing that we're looking in what the article is telling us? What's one way to tell that it is credible source? Yep, exactly. No spelling or grammar mistakes. Should it be fact or opinion? Fact. Can like everyone say that out loud? Everyone.
Fact.
Okay. Good job. Good job. Now, when we are looking at the article, when looking at what the article is talking about, you should be looking for, we just said it, fact, not opinion. Supporting quotes or data to support the claim that they're trying to tell you. Errors and typos should not be present, and links to related content also credible. The more information and data you can find to support the claim, the more likely it is to be credible. Any questions about what the article is telling you? No? Who, what, now we're talking about when. So when the article was posted, right? Like, when was it written? When was it published? When was it edited? There you go. So a publishing date should be provided somewhere on the site. The information should be current. So you guys are all choosing a topic that is current in today's atmosphere. So none of your articles should be more than 5 to 8 years old. So if you bring me an article that was written in 2013, I'm not going to sign off on it. It's not current any longer. So you have to find articles that were written like 5, maybe 8 years ago. The more current the article, the better it is to support your claim. All the links should work, because if you click on one and the link that it brings you to is expired, then that article has been erased because it is no longer current. When looking at when the article was written, you're looking for a publishing date, a revision date, a copyright date, and working links. So turn to the person next to you and talk about how you know that an article is credible based on the date, based on when it was written. Ready, set, go. Okay, how do we know an article is credible based on when it was published? Pam? Yep, the more recent the better, right? So like, if you're talking about should students have phones in class, and you find an article written in 2000, it's going to be talking more about like flip phones or pagers. It's not going to be talking about the phones that you guys have now that can find all the answers to every single one of the problems in class. Do we see the difference? Time changes, so does the information on the articles. Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns before we move on? No? Okay. Next, we are talking about where. So where is the article coming from? By technology. Okay, so the URL should be trustworthy, meaning do not use Wikipedia, do not use Facebook, do not use social medias. You can use these not credible sources to get your brain thinking and come up with ideas, and then you can take your idea and put it into Google Scholar and find an actual credible source to back up the claim. But you cannot use these to actually cite your source. Website design should be clean and organized. The website should be easy to use. And the contact information should be listed. So if there's something wrong with the article, you guys, well, not you personally, but someone could reach out and talk to the actual company. So we've already kind of talked about this. When looking at where the article is coming from, look for the type of URL, so .edu, .gov, or .organization, .org. Advertising. Their purpose might be to make money off of the article, which might lead the purpose to be entertaining rather than informative. So if there's a bunch of ads, keep that in mind. And then utilizing Google Scholar is a great idea. Have any of you guys used Google Scholar before? So Google is an actual domain. I'll pull it up in a minute. But if you look up Google Scholar, it is a different search engine. So it makes it to where whatever you type in, it's only going to be credible sources. It will not bring up random websites like Wikipedia. It will only bring up credible sources. So Google Scholar, if you look it up there, I will immediately sign off on the article. I will not even question it. I'll have to look into it. Can everyone talk to the person next to you and tell me how you know that it is credible based on where it is coming from? Here's we're taking the notes. You probably missed some, so just to override you once we're done to fill in what you missed. Okay, so what is one way to know, based on where the article is coming from, that it is not credible? Do we need to talk to our partners again? Yeah, that's a good, yes, ads. So if there's a bunch of ads, then the actual purpose of the article might be just to entertain you. So that would go back to the Onion article. What is one way to know that it is a credible source? If it's organized. Good job. Okay, do we have any questions before we go on to the last W? Okay. So Y is our last W. And the first thing that you should ask yourself when looking at a source is, what is the purpose of the source? So just like I am going to be listening to all of yours and thinking, what is the purpose of their speech? You are going to be doing this when you look at the article. So if it is to entertain or persuade the audience, then it might be focusing more on opinion than fact. And I think I've said this like 4 times already. We want fact, not opinion. The target audience should also be clear. So the audience should be people wanting to learn about facts about a certain topic. When looking at an article reasoning, look for titles and subtitles, photos, the actual writing style of the author, word choice, and reading level. What is the first thing that you should think of when looking at an article? The purpose. Good job, Pam. Absolutely. The purpose and then the audience. So I have created like a checklist for you guys. I'm gonna pass them out. I don't want you guys to write on these until you do your own research. So just, we're gonna look at them while we go over 2 sources to decide if they are credible or not. But don't write on these until you're doing your own research. Okay, so now as a class, we're going to look at this article and this article. and we're going to go down this checklist and determine which one is credible and which one is not. So we're gonna start with this one. Can someone tell me who's the author or what the website is called? Who's the organization or the author? Yeah. Have you heard of them before? Me neither. Never heard of them in my life. So like at this point we would then look up them to decide if they are credible or not. They've already done that for you, they are not. So we're already deciding at the who it is, not credible. Okay, next. Do we think that the author website is qualified and trustworthy? Nope. So even right now, when you're doing your own research, if you've already answered both of those no, you can stop looking at the source and find a different one, because we already know this one's not credible, but I'm gonna go through the entire checklist with you guys. So what information is based on fact and not opinion? So I can tell you, I read this, some of it is fact, but most of it is more opinion based. So man is a kind of a super dense living atom in the system of social reality. Opinion. We are all guided and surrounded by several social rules and regulations which we have to follow to live in society. I mean, I guess, kind of. Yeah, maybe opinion, maybe fact. We follow these rules throughout our life, like behaving well in class, respecting elders, following norms of the community, and many more. Yeah, fact, but has anyone not acted well in class? Can we think of a time where someone acted out in class? Whether it was you or a friend? Yeah, we can all think of a time like that. So this is already thrown out the window, it's all opinion. No spelling or grammatical errors. I think they did pretty well on that. I could not find any good errors to point out to you. So that one, it would have gotten the check mark. If there are links that lead to credible sources, recent posts, all of these, not really, right? Like these aren't, you know, from a good source. studioguys.com/everyday life examples of conformity. Examples? Okay. Publishing date is provided. I don't know why it won't let me slide down on this. Like I can't move down, but the actual date is published on there, and it's 2021, I believe, or 22. So it is provided, and the information is current. I did click on the links. The links do work. The URL is trustworthy. It is not Wikipedia or a social media. It is a real person/organization. The website design is clear and organized. What do you guys think? Do we think that it's clear and organized? Yeah? Yeah, pretty clean, pretty organized? Okay. Website is easy to use and obtain article. What do you guys think? I mean, other than my technology problems of not being able to swipe down. What do we think? Do you think it was easy to obtain? Yeah, pretty easy. Contact information is not listed. I would slide down to show you, but it is not listed. The purpose is clear, yes. We all know what they're talking about. I read like the first 3 sentences and I feel like we know. We also could figure that out by reading this up here, everyday life examples of conformity. And the target audience, do we think that is clear? Not really. It's not really there. So we have some yeses and some no's, right? Would you guys consider this a credible source? No. Why not? Because it's opinion based? Yep. And the person who wrote it is not a credible source, right? Alright, let's look at this one. Who? The name of the author or website is clearly stated. Who is the author or the organization? Can we all see from there? Say it again?
John Newman.
Yep. We all don't know who he is, I know this, but like, credible person. Looked him up. He's wonderful. He is qualified and trustworthy. I did that research for you so that you guys don't have to do it in this moment. Information is based on fact, not opinion. So, as we can see, so this is .com, where we're getting the actual article. But if we look right here, this is the actual domain of where it came from, and this is .org. So automatically, we know that it's fact, not opinion. So that is, yes, it would get a check mark. No spelling or grammatical errors. I did not find any. We don't have to read the entire article right now. I'll just tell you that right now. There are no links on here other than the side ones, and they all work, but there's no links in the actual article to like click on. So all the links work that are there. Publishing date, can we find it?
January
2008, is that too long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, you guys wouldn't be able to use it, but we're gonna pretend like it says 2018 for this thing, just so I can show you that it's credible or not credible. So, the date is in our bracket, so the publishing date is provided. We're gonna pretend like the information is current. All the links work. URL, do we think that this URL is trustworthy? Yes, why? Good job. Because it is .org. Is the website designed, clear, and organized? What do you all think? Thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. I want to see everyone's thumbs. Good job. Everyone did yes. Good job. Website is easy to use and obtain the article. So even if this website wasn't working, we could then find another place to find it, right? So regardless on if it's working correctly or not, we have two places to find it, right? Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Contact information is listed. So if you click on this where it says his name, that's an actual link, and it takes you to a bio of him, and there is an email for him. The purpose. Can someone tell me what the purpose is?
Experience and communication.
Good job. And then target audience is clear. I read it. I'm not going to force you guys all to read it because you guys have to find your own articles. Do we think this one is credible, yes or no? Maria says yes. Pam says yes. Kaylee says yes. Bailey says yes. Harmon says yes. Is there anyone that says no? Good job. It is credible. So now do we all understand how to decide if an article is and is not credible? Do we have any questions, comments, or concerns before you start your own research? No questions? Okay. So now I'm going to come around. You guys all have one of these for your own personal topic. So I'm going to come around and hand them to you. I wrote them all this morning. So if the handwriting is a little messy, I apologize. Like I said, if you have all 4 of these, you're ready to start your research. So if you have all 4 of these like Amaya does, all you're going to do is go to Google Scholar or Google if that's where you want to start, and you're going to type in the first one. I'm just going to use yours as an example. So the first one is cost, tax dollars. So she's going to look up death penalty cost, tax dollars. And then she's going to find a bunch of articles about it. Then she's going to choose one that is credible, that supports her idea, and then she's going to raise her hand. And I'm going to come sign off that it is credible or not credible. And then she's going to start the next one. So by the end of today, the goal is to have all of them. You might have time if you really work real strong. If not, it's homework. For those of you who do not have one, some of you just don't have one because I haven't had the chance to get them from you and write them down. So some of you guys actually have them to write down, but like I didn't have them. So if that's the case, write them down and then start your research. If you don't have one to fill out that, then you have to come up with your claim. So you should have 2 supporting claims to support your overall claim, and then 2 opposing claims. Do we have any questions? Do we understand what we're doing? Okay, I'm going to pass these out while I'm doing that. Pull out your Chromebook so that you guys can start your research. Your goal before you leave, all eyes on me real quick. Your goal before you leave is to get as many articles signed off from me as you can, because on Monday, you're writing your rough draft. So if you do not have them all, then your homework is to get them all so that you can have them signed off at the beginning of class on Monday so that you can begin your research or begin your rough draft with your research. Okay?
You already know how you're going to. What do you mean? Just write that it's important. Okay, I'll be right there. You guys need to start your research. Especially you. You gotta go somewhere. You gotta start out research.
Carmen, can you just tell me what your 2 are really quick so I can... I just want to... If you guys add one because you did not have one, let me know so I can write it down. Okay, so why do you not want to wear a uniform? So like, do you and I dress the same? Do me and Pam dress the same? No. So like, we have our own individual styles, right? To express ourselves, right? So having your own attire, you can express yourself. Maybe one of them. You're gonna write it here. So expressing yourself. Sure. You know what it means, right? Okay. Expressing yourself. Now, what is the second reason? What's another reason? So, why don't you go to Google and you look up, so and look up why should high schools not have a school I just have like one for each. Yeah, so I'm gonna give you an outline on Monday, but basically it's gonna be as if you're writing an essay, but like in short sentences, so a bullet point essay. And so you're gonna talk about this claim, and then you're gonna support it with evidence, and explain how the evidence showcases that we should change it. And then at the next one will be the exact same thing. And then for this one, you're gonna use, like some people might say, and then say what the source says, and then you're gonna say your rebuttal. So you would say like, while that might make sense, it still leads to blah, 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 and repeat it, and then repeat it twice. Does that make sense? Hey, all eyes on me really quick. So you're gonna need to use these articles. All eyes on me really quick. All eyes on me, even if you're just pretending to look at me and listen. All eyes on me. Marvin, okay. So you're gonna have to use these articles on Monday when you write your rough draft. So if I were you, I would make a Google Doc with the link so that it's easy to find the article on Monday, so that you don't lose your articles, okay? Just make a blank document, put the link in there for all the 4 that I sign off on, so that you do not lose them, okay? Yes? We're all gonna start a doc so that we don't lose them. Yes? So now what I need to do is make sure that all of these links are saved into a Google Doc so that you have them, and then start looking for exact quotes that you can pull. Okay, Caleb, I'll be right back. So this one should be a supporting. This is saying that it does need so this one should be changed, but this one could be you could put this one here. I mean, this one is just a supporting claim, so as long as you change this to supporting claim 3, you can use this to try to find something.
do not, if the information system not need to be changed.
Alright, there is no school tomorrow, November 10th, in honor of Veterans Day. Seniors, order your Calpheon by December 1st for guaranteed delivery.
Alright, all eyes on me really quick. Really quick, even if you're pretending. If you did not get all 4 of them signed off, you have homework. You need to come up with 4 credible sources before Monday. When do you need the 4 credible sources? I can't hear you over them. Say it again very loud. Before Monday. I will sign up on them before Monday. You cannot start your outline until I get them all signed off. Okay? Hayden.
Today is South Tower Internet. Please check the schedule report on RBI schedule.
You can go find those quotes, like from the sources, and like have like a quote or 2 from each one.